topic of the day is, I want to remind you and to tell you for a fact that you are a God by yourself. Yes, good morning, good morning. You should love yourself just the way you are. That's just a reminder. It's very important that I keep reminding you that you're just a piece of art. Whatever you make out of yourself is what you become. Whatever you mold yourself to be, it's what you become. You're just a piece of art. And this piece of art is in your hands. It's for you to shape it the way you want. It's for you to design it the way you want. It's for you to redesign it when things get wrong. It's just like the potter, you know. The pot, the clay is in the hands of the potter. Yeah. So at one point when the potter feels like hii kona imekuwa kubwa sana, hii kona imekuwa sharp sana, anaifinya hiyo, you know, anaifinyanza. Nikufinyanza ama nikufinyanga, that one. So anaikuja tena, anaiharibu tena, anaanza kuimold tena. That's just how your life is. That's how my life is. So at one point when you feel you've made the wrong decisions and you know your life sounds like it's messed up, you know, your life is just a mess, you know, you just go back and you just remold it, you know, you just redesign everything. Yeah, you don't have to stop doing whatever that you're doing. You don't have to give up. Yeah, you don't have just to give up simply because things are not working the way you're expecting them to work out. You don't have to commit suicide simply because there's some rejection out there, simply because things are not going the way you expect them to go. Yeah, so you don't have to do that. What you need to do is to redesign. Things are not okay, just go back, redesign everything, dream again. Yeah, get on the drawing board, and this time loud, make sure that you get things right. Tuko pamoja? Yes, so you don't get to give up. There's one thing that, you know, I have come to realize about life, you know. So those people who read the Bible, those people who are Christians, and you know, they call themselves Christians, they are saved, blah, 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 and all that. And there's one thing that they are always focusing more on than the other. Let's come to think about this. When God created human beings, that is me and you, when God created Adam, so he first created the body with clay, you know, and then he decided to breathe life into the man. So kwanza aliumba hii skeleton, the body, mwili yote akatengeneza, ndio hiyo iko na akili, iko na, you know, iko na macho, iko na mapua, iko na digestive system, iko na everything, all the organs are there. So that one he made with the clay. And then sasa akasema, I need to breathe life to this guy. Okay? So that means that God ali breathe life in ourselves. Ali breathe life in us. So that means we have a part of us which is human, and we have another part which is divine. Because after God now created man with clay, which is now, you know, the part of man which is human, then alikuja akaweka breath, you know, breath of life. He decided to breathe life into this thing that he has made. Because before aweke uhai, ilikuwa a thing, kilikuwa tu kikitu. You know, alikuwa tu ametengeneza ni kikitu, ni kimwili, you know. But after aliweka uhai, ndio then ikaamuka na ikakuwa iko sawa. So that means that God breathed part of who he is into us. Okay? So we have the human side and we have the divine side in us. So each one of us, so unajua, for example, if you have 5 children, kama tuseme for example, uko na watoto watatu, ama uko na watoto watano, whatever the number. And you know, how watoto, they all have a part of you. Sidio? That's why we have genetic issues. That's why we have you know, even diseases that are inherited, you know, genetic, that your father could be having a certain illness or a certain disease, and then you inherit it. That means that you have a piece of your father in you. You have a piece of your mother in you. And you also have a piece of all the past generations, for whichever generation that you've come from. So that means we have a piece of God in us. Okay? Because God had breathed part of who he is in us. So that means each one of us as human beings, and even animals, they have a piece of Godness in them. So kila mtu akona kapisi ya Mungu ndani yake. Okay? Even animals, because animals have spirit. Because it is the spirit that makes us to be alive. If you remove the spirit, what remains is nothing. It's a body. And that's why mtu akikufa mnasemaga mwili ya so and so inaenda iko kwa mochari, mwili ya so and so inaendewa hii masaa, because hamsemagi John amekufa. Hamsemagi tunaendea John, mnasemaga tunaendea mwili ya John. So meaning John mwenyewe alishatoka kwa hiyo mwili. Okay? So this means that the spiritual part of us, the spirit, which now gives us the fuel. The spirit is like a fuel. It's an energy. The spirit is an energy. So it's like a fuel. It's that which gives our cells the fuel to help us to do everything that we do. Okay? And therefore, that means that each and every one of us, we have both divine and humanness in us. Tuko na umungu ndani yetu na tuko na ubinadamu ndani yetu. So this means that each and every one of us, we have the God's energy, because God is an energy. Okay? So there are those people who, and I know that some of you may not believe this, that, we have been brought up in an environment where we are told that there's a God, there's a guy out there who is God somewhere in the sky or somewhere in heaven, who is just watching over us and, all that. Sorry for that. Yes, kabaridi kidogo kameingia kwa mapua. So, there's a God out there who is somewhere in heaven, somewhere up in the sky, who is watching everything that we are doing. Personally, I do not believe that. I do not believe that there is someone out there who is watching everything that we are doing. What I believe is that there is a certain energy, because what we call God is that which has power to create. Okay? That which created everything is what we call God. So that means that the creator of what there is, the creator of everything there is now what we name as God. And the one who created everything and created us left a piece of himself in us. So that means that he gave us the power that he had. So alijipasua, as I would talk about the Big Bang that we all hear about. So there's the Big Bang, the Big Bang theory, that one. So this energy that created everything, the source energy of everything that there is, kila kitu ambayo imeubwa, that which created everything that exists, it is what now we call God. Okay? So this God created a piece of himself in us, or left a piece of himself in us. So that means that every human being has a piece of the source creator in him or in her. Are we together ama nimekupoteza? So every human being, you and me included, we have a piece of divine in us. We have that divine energy, because I've told you that, God is an energy which has the power to create. So each one of us was given that energy in ourselves. That means that we have the power to create. We are creators. we are gods as human beings. And let me tell you something. Most of the religious leaders know this. Most of religious leaders know that human beings are gods. But they'll never tell you as their follower that you are a god by yourself, because they want you to worship them, since they already know that they are a god by themselves. So when you focus, and that's why, the story of heaven and hell came through. And most Christians do not believe in God because they want, for the sake of believing in God. Okay? Most people and most Christians, and I'm telling you this for a fact, most Christians do not believe in God, God now, the source creator, simply because of believing in him. They already believe in God. They already follow God's teachings. They already do whatever they do in this earth. Not because they want to do that, but simply because they are afraid of going to hell. If hell was removed in the picture, nobody would be doing what they are doing. Like almost 100% of human beings would not do what they are doing today if hell was removed in the picture. If you are told that everybody will go to heaven, most people will stop living the moral lives that they are living today. So most Christians are not Christians simply because they have chosen to be Christians. They are Christians simply because they don't want to go to hell. If there was no hell, hey, let me tell you, if people are told there is no hell, let me tell you something. The lives that people would be living would be unbelievable. People would now live the true selves. Okay? People would bring out the worst out of themselves because they are not afraid that they are going to burn for eternity. Tuko pamoja? So listen to me and listen to me carefully. And this is the truth, that if you sit down by yourself, not listening to your pastors, not listening to your spiritual leaders, but if you sit down by yourself to listen to the inner self, that inner self, let me tell you something, it's going to communicate to you and tell you facts about who you are. And we all know this for a fact. Have you ever sat down at one point by yourself in silence, in serenity, and then you felt a voice speaking to you from inside, revealing secrets of the universe to you, revealing secrets of the truth of how the earth is and how the universe is? Okay? I know each one of us, you've gotten to that point where you sit down and you start doubting the things that your pastors are telling you, where you sit down and you start doubting some things that are written in the Bible. All right? Because that is now the true self, the part of divine which is in you, communicating to you. And the sooner you know that you are a God by yourself, the sooner you are going to do things for the right reasons. Some of you right now, you're going to Anglican church, you're going to APCA, you're going to Catholic church, simply because that's where you found yourself. Simply because that's where your parents took you. Okay? So that means you are believing in something, in certain doctrines, simply because your parents believed in those doctrines. Tuko pamoja? So, meaning, you've not fully decided, majority, there are those people, who walipelekwa kwa kanisa fulani, and then wengine wakaamua, hii kanisa, I think I should go to my own church, I should decide where I should fellowship, or, where I should go and worship. So there are some of you who have decided to individually and independently think about that and make that decision, that you're going to follow a certain religion, you're going to follow a certain, doctrine. But there are some of you who are stuck in religions which are abusive, in religions which are brainwashing you, in religions which are destroying you, which are ruining your life, simply because wazazi wangu hapa ndipo walinipeleka, wazazi wangu hii ndio njia walinionyesha, wazazi wangu hapa ndipo waliniambia niende. So wewe una believe kwa ile kitu yenye wazazi wako walikuambia ubelieve, sio kwa ile kitu yenye wewe umejiambia ubelieve in. Okay? Una believe kwa a certain doctrine simply because ulipelekwa hapo na wazazi wako ama ulijipata hapo. Tuko pamoja? So as human beings, we have the freedom and the power to decide for ourselves, to think individually, to think independently what we want in this life. Sorry for that. So you need to understand that you are a God by yourself. And that is why, unajua, let me tell you something. And this is one thing that people, when you've never had revelation in this. The Bible says that give God what belongs to God. And Kaisar, ni Kaisar ama ni Kaisari, that guy. And give, Kaisar, ni Kaisar ama ni Caesar, that guy. I don't know the right way of pronouncing that word. But give God what belongs to God and give Kaisar whoever belongs to him. Here's my question. Who is this guy called, ni Kaisar ama, you understand me, eh? So this guy called Kaisar. Definitely this is the government, That's the government that, the Bible was talking about. So give the government what belongs to government and give God what belongs to God. Here's the question. It's okay. You usually give the government what belongs to government because you are paying taxes. Because you're buying things and you're paying taxes. There's a lot of tax being deducted from you, what you earn. All right? But the question is, hii yenye unafaa kupelekea Mungu, unapelekeaga nani? That's the question that you should ask yourself. Always. Hii yenye, so you should give God what belongs to God. So this which belongs to God, where do you usually take it? Or who do you usually take it to? Unapelekeaga pastor wako, unapelekeaga priest wako, unapelekeaga you are a spiritual leader. Sindio? Is that not the truth? So, huyo spiritual leader unapelekea, is he God? That's the question. Of course, you're going to tell me, no, he is not, but he is anointed of God. He is the representative of God. Fine. Where does he usually take this money? Yenye huwa unampelekea? Huwa anapeleka kwa charity? Huwa anapeleka kwa rehabs? Kwa children's home? Huwa anapeleka kwa streets? Majority of them don't. Majority of the spiritual leaders, pesa yenye mnawapelekea hiyo 10% hiyo sadaka, wananunua gari ingine, wananunua designer clothes. They are living a luxury at the expense of what you are earning, of what you are doing in this life. Okay? I have no problem with that. Because, for them, you are appreciating what they are doing and blah, 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 and other theories. I like what this guy, Manikush, I like what Manikush always says. He always tells us the truth. So yeye anasemaga, ukimpelekea sadaka ni yeye anakula. Because Mungu hataki sadaka. Mungu hakulanga, hatumiagi pesa. Mungu havaliagi suti, yeye ndiye anavaa suti. Mungu hadrive, yeye ndiye anadrive. So frankly anakuambia, ukipeleka sadaka kwa kanisa, si Mungu unapelekea, ni Manikush unapelekea. And I like that about him. Okay? Ni yeye unapelekea na ni yeye anakula. So anawahubiria, okay? Anawahubiria, and then nyinyi mnajipeleka biguni. Hata yeye anatafuta njia ya biguni. That's what he always say. And then sarcastically mnacheka, mnafikiria he is joking about it. But the truth about what he says is unfathomable to most. But it's the fact. Okay? It's the fact. So when you are denying yourself, ndio upelekea mtu fulani, you are making a mistake. You are making a mistake. You should not sleep hungry ndio upelekee mtu fulani pesa. You should not deny yourself. Wewe unavalia mararu. Ni mararu. Nguo zenye hazina mbele hazina nyuma. Ndio uweke hiyo pesa upelekee pastor. ndio weke hiyo pesa upelekee prophetess and prophets and mtumishi wa Mungu. Okay? Unapita, unaacha neighbor wako akiwa njaa, neighbor yako analala njaa, neighbor yako watoto wake hawaendi shule because hawana school fees, neighbor yako anavalia nguo zenye zimeraruka. Alafu wewe kuna ile 10,000 umeweka kwa nyumba ati hii ni ya 10%, unaenda kupelekea pastor. You are living a lie. Na unajidanganya. Okay? So, wewe unaacha neighbor yako wakufe njaa, ndio upelekee pastor wako 10,000, mwenye ako na kitabi kikubwa kabisa, mwenye anavalia designer clothes, mwenye ana drive the newest machine in the town. Okay? That's what you are doing. So, you are living a lie. And the day that you as an individual, you are going to understand and know that you are a God by yourself, that's the day that you wake up and start living the truth of who you are. That is the day you're going to give yourself the best, instead of denying yourself the best and giving everyone else the best. The day that you're going to understand that you are a creator by yourself. You are a creator by yourself. I mean, look around you. Is it not evident that human beings are creators? Is it not evident? We are creators. God already created trees. You know, God created raw materials. Okay? Mungu, wacha nikwambie the truth. God created raw materials. And then akaona, badala ya nishinde hapa a billion years nikicreate manyumba, nikicreate magari, nikicreate madege, let me do this. Let me create raw materials. Wacha nianze hii kazi ya kucreate. Let me create the raw materials and then share a piece of me, the creator, with these human beings so that now they can use the raw materials that I've created to now create the end product. I hope you're understanding me. God only created raw materials. And then akaona, these guys need, to be creative. They need aeroplanes. They need cars. They need buildings. Yeah. They need those machines. And instead of me creating them creating those things for them, let me just create the raw materials and then share a piece of me, the creator, and put it in them so that they can have the power to continue creating using the raw materials that I've created. Tuko pamoja? So you and me, we are creators. Okay? Where you are a creator and I am a creator. Look around you. See what human beings have created. See the marvelous and the wonderful things that human beings have created. Are they not creators? So God already created raw materials, and then he gave us the godly power, the godly energy for us to continue with the creation, for us to continue creating. So when you do not love yourself, then you do not love God. And there's a song that is sung. If you do not love your neighbor, you do not love God. If you do not love yourself, then you do not love God, because you are a God yourself. Okay? You have the God energy in you. You have the God power. God, the source creator, is in you. So, and that's, let me give you another secret. What makes people who worship, those people you call devil worshippers, those people you call Illuminati, those people you call, Freemason, all those people, witches, all those people, yeah? So, how comes they are able to do extraordinary things? How comes that they are able to use, to do extraordinary things? That unasikia mtu anaweza toka kwa mwili yake, and you have heard these stories, eh? Those people who are, those people who have, wenye wamekuwa delivered from devil worshipping. Anakuambia mimi naweza rara, nimerara kwangu kwa nyumba, lakini si uko hapo. Spirit yangu imetoka, ina cause accident somewhere else. Okay? So, ako hapa, Kenya, amelala pahali unaona, na mnaona ndio huyu amelala, lakini spirit yake imetoka, iko Uganda, ndiko ina cause accident. Ama iko Uganda ndio inafanya zile vitu inafanya, not necessarily causing accident, but whatever it's doing. How is that possible? Because spirit is an energy. And we have atoms in our body. The cells. Okay? Life is in the cells that we have. And cells, we have atoms in our body, which now possesses the energy that fuels who we are, that makes us do the things that we do. So the reason why those witches, those devil worshippers, and those people, who especially operate on the dark powers, the reason why they're able to do what they do is because, if you can be able to bring a piece, 10 pieces of a god together, okay? If you can be able to harness, to bring together, to unite 10 pieces of an energy, then it becomes a bigger energy, which definitely can be able to do a bigger thing. Tuko pamoja? So when now these people come together and they have mastered the art or a way of, being able to summon the spiritual energy or the godness energy in them, they are able to bring it together, then it becomes something bigger, which can be able to, you can be able to extract it from the body, na uiweke at a separate, you can be able to separate your body from your spirit and get back in your body. Yes, that can happen. If you have been able to master how to do that. I'm not going to talk about how to do that and all that, blah, 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 So the thing is, you can't be able to transform anything in your life. You as an individual, you as a human being, you have the power even to do extraordinary things. You have the power in you to even perform miracles. Okay? There's nothing that you cannot do in this life. I mean, look around you. Look at your own life. Look at how you have created misery. You are a creator. You have created the misery that you are suffering every day. Some have created, heavens here on earth for themselves, because we are creators. Okay? We have created this. You create your miseries. Life itself is a very nice thing. It's a very jovial thing. Life, what we call life. Some people will say, life is suffering. Life, at maisha too, it's suffering. No, life itself is a very pure thing. Life is pure energy. Okay? So life is a very good thing. It's a wonderful and gorgeous thing. We as human beings, we are the ones who have created the misery that we are going through. Because let me ask you something. What are you suffering today? Every human being, you are either suffering your past or your future. Now, ask yourself, what am I suffering from? What is causing my suffering? It is either of the things that are in your memory, the things that you've gone through in the past, or the things that you are anxious about or worried about that are going to happen in the future. Okay? That's what you are suffering today. So human beings usually suffer the two key fundamental and significant aspects of our life. That is a good sense of imagination, that is in the future, and a good ability to be able to keep things in our mind, memory. It's because of the things that you've gone through in the past. That's why you're suffering. Or because of the things that you are afraid are going to happen, or the things that you're anxious about to happen, or you're suffering either the past or the future. But if you can live in the moment, life has no suffering. That's what I want you to understand. If you can be able to live in the present, live now, live today, live this moment. If you can be able to do that, you cannot suffer in this life. The reason why you are suffering is because you are wondering whether you're going to buy that car that you want. You are wondering whether you're going to achieve that luxurious life that you want. You are wondering whether you're going, your business is going to work, whether somebody is going to kill you, whether somebody is going to steal from you. That's why you are suffering. Or else you are suffering the decisions and choices that you made 10 years ago, something traumatic that happened to you 5 years ago, something that happened yesterday. You are either suffering one of the two or both. But if you can be able to live in the moment, if you can be able to live now, sahi, you're going to have a very happy life. You're going to have a very enjoyable life. This is going to be a heaven for you. And those people, let me tell you something. Those people who are able to live in the moment have no business with heaven. Okay? Those people who are living in the moment, they are not looking forward to be in heaven. No. This is already a heaven for them. Because let me ask you, my friend, what fact do you have that this is not heaven? How for sure do you know that this is already heaven and you are making a mess out of it? What fact do you have that we are not already in heaven and you are creating a mess out of it? And that's the problem. Most of you go to church, and because you are promised heaven now, you are making this earth a hell for you so that you can go to heaven. Yeah? You are creating a mess out of this life so that you can go to live in the next. You don't need another life if you can live this perfectly. Okay? You don't need to live a second life if you can live this life that you have right now the right way. And the problem is, most of you are making a mess out of this life that we are already sure that we have. Simply because you have been lied to and you have been convinced and you have been told that there's a better place than here. There's no better place than here. Okay? And even if that praise is, there's another praise which is better than it, because that's just a possibility. Heaven is a possibility, hell is a possibility. But the life that we have here on earth is not a possibility. Okay? Hii maisha yenye tuko sahi si possibility. This is a fact. This is a reality. Tuko hapa. You are alive, I'm alive. Heaven and hell are possibilities. The life that we have right now is not a possibility. It's a fact. So why are you messing up what you know for sure you have for something you are not sure whether you are going to have? That's my question. Why are you messing up a fact for a possibility? Why are you leaving this earth in misery simply because you have been promised heaven? If you live this earth properly, you don't need a heaven. If you live this earth properly, you don't need a second life. You just need one life. Uishi vizuri. That's all you need. Okay? So, most of you, as we conclude, most of you do not believe that you are a God. What is faith? We are spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings. With or without religion, we are spiritual beings. We don't need religion to be spiritual. Okay? You do not need any religion to be spiritual. You were born a spiritual being. Why? Because you were born with a spirit. Being born with a spirit makes you a spiritual being. And it is in that spirituality that you are able to understand that you are a God by yourself. Instead of saving money, instead of denying yourself to go and give someone else, you should be giving everything good to yourself. Because someone else has made you think that he is a god or she is a god. And that's why you are worshiping them. Okay? That's why you are worshiping them. That's why you are giving them everything.